Good morning, students. Let's start with the infectious agents. There are many organisms that can cause diseases, and these are found in a wide range of categories. Some of them are viruses, some are bacteria, some are fungi, some are single celled animals, or they are also called as protozoans. And there are some diseases which are formed by worms of different kinds. The common examples of diseases caused by viruses. Viruses cause diseases like common cold, influenza, dengue, AIDS. These are all caused by viruses. Then diseases like typhoid, fever, cholera, tuberculosis and anthraxes are caused by bacteria. Then most of the skin diseases are caused by fungi. And protozoans cause many diseases such as malaria and Kala Azar. So all these are the diseases which are caused by virus, bacteria, fungi and protozoans. Now, all viruses, they live inside their host cells, whereas bacteria, they do not live in the host cells usually. Viruses, bacteria and fungi, they all multiply very quickly, whereas worms multiply very slowly in comparison to other organisms. And all bacteria are very closely related to each other than to viruses. So what happens is that many important life processes are similar in the bacteria group, which cannot be shared with the virus group. So to explain this more clearly, let me give you an example. For example, if you take antibiotics. Now what are antibiotics? Antibiotics, they are commonly used to block the biochemical pathways for the bacteria. So what do the bacteria do? Bacteria usually make a cell wall around themselves to protect themselves. Clear? So bacteria makes a cell wall to protect themselves. So if we have got any bacterial infection, if we take an antibiotic, for example, the antibiotic penicillin. So what does antibiotic penicillin do is that it will block the bacterial process. The process by which bacteria builds the cell wall, that is blocked by the antibiotic. So what will happen? As a result, the growing bacteria will not be able to make cell wall and it will die very easily. Once it is not able to make the cell wall, what will happen? Cell wall is a protective layer, na? So that means it won't be able to protect itself. So it will die very easily. Human cells, they do not make a cell wall. So what will happen? The penicillin cannot have such an effect on us. So even though the antibiotic will kill the bacteria, but it will not have any effect on human beings. So penicillin will have this effect only on bacteria. So there are many antibiotics which work against many species of bacteria rather than simply working against one. So it is not that कि एक पे काम करेगा, वो जितने भी bacterias हैं सबके ऊपर काम करेगा. Okay, so this is how antibiotics work. They break the protective layer and then the organism, it will die very easily. But that is not the case with viruses. What happens, children? Viruses, I have told you earlier that viruses are considered as between living and non-living. Why is it so? Because they do not use these pathways at all. Viruses use, whenever they attack a host, they use their all the body structure, everything is used by the viruses. They use the host's all body chemical activities. So that is the reason that antibiotics do not work against any viral infections. So if we have a common cold, for example, taking antibiotics will not reduce the severity or the duration of the disease. So that means there is no way that if you take an antibiotic, it will reduce your common cold. But if we get a bacterial infection along with a viral cold, taking antibiotics will help. But how? The antibiotic will work only against the bacterial part, not against the viral infection. Clear, children? Then we come to the means of the spread of infectious diseases. Now, infectious disease can be spread in many ways. So, since these are spread or communicated, we also call them communicable diseases. So, these diseases can be caused by microbes which are spread in the air. For example, any infected person, if he or she sneezes or coughs, the fine droplets which are thrown out by the infected person, if someone who is standing close by can breathe these droplets and can get the infection. So, examples of diseases which spread through air are common cold, pneumonia and tuberculosis. These are the diseases which are spread through air. Then there are diseases which spread through water, many diseases. And how does this occur? This occur if the excreta from someone suffering from an infectious disease such as cholera, it gets mixed up with drinking water. So it can infect the other people. The third means of spread is sexual contact. Okay, so there are many diseases like AIDS or syphilis which are transmitted which are sexually transmitted diseases, and these cannot be spread by any casual contact. Casual contact can include handshakes, hugs or sports like wrestling. So it cannot be spread by hugs or handshakes. It is sexually transmitted diseases. It can even spread through blood to blood contact with an infected mother. For example, if a mother is suffering from HIV or AIDS, so if the mother is pregnant, so during that pregnancy or while breastfeeding her child, the child will also get infected by AIDS. So this is the third means of spread. Then we come to many creatures. Okay, we have got many animals around us. So these animals also act as infecting agents from a sick person to another person. So these animals are thus the intermediaries and they are called as vectors. Okay, so what are vectors? The animal which act as intermediaries and cause a disease. So what are the most common vector that we all know are mosquitoes. Many of the species of mosquitoes, that is the female, they need highly nutritious food in the form of blood and it can be able to lay mature eggs. So in this way they can transfer diseases from person to person. Not only mosquitoes, there are flies also. Flies also can infect many people. So I hope, children, that this much is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can contact me personally. Thank you and have a wonderful day.